I want to add one thing in it. I think it's all depend on mental alertness.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's what
it,
I
it
said, right?
doesn't matter. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I
it's
said.
all,
It's all about your mindset. Okay, it's
yeah.
all about your mindset. The time you feel like, okay, this is a comfortable time where I'll be able to capture, yes, it's always that we can go in that direction. Yeah, thanks for that.
I do agree that we should have a good sleep routine. If it is during the day, that's fine. If it is during
Yes,
the night, that's also fine. Right.
yes, that's great. Yeah. Okay, with all that, um, waking up at 6:30. Thank you so much for all of you. And you are you are woke up at 6:30. That means you need something out of this session, right? Now, I'm here to talk to you on data engineering. Let's see what is this data engineering. Everywhere, every word says that data engineering is in demand, data engineering is in demand. But ideally, what is data engineering, right? So that is what I'm here to help you to understand in a very layman terms what is this data engineering is all about. Okay. Now, I say that it's a word. I can split it into data and engineering, and we'll see what each is all about. And finally, we'll see what is this course. Now, before that, I'm very much privileged to talk to you about myself. Most of you know me, but still, uh, myself, Santhosh. I do have a decade of experience working in IT, and I'm a BTech MBA graduate. Currently, I'm working as manager in Microsoft. That's my primary professional, which I've been part of Microsoft for the last 6 years. And I've been into data science, data engineering, data analytics. Very grateful to say that right from the day one of my career, I've been working with data-driven technologies. And I'm a certified analyst engineer. And for the last 5 years, I've been taking classes for KSR and helping most of the data students to get their dream jobs. So this is a very short introduction about myself, and don't call me sir. There is no sir madam culture in IT. Call me Santhosh. Okay. With all this, let's get into the subject. As part of the agenda, we'll figure out what is this data engineering buzz keyword, and post that we will also see that the growth of data, why the data engineering is demand nowadays and why not in the past. We'll figure out that. Followed by, we do have the layman understanding that we will figure out. And finally, we'll see what is this course is all about, who can learn this course, and what is the demand for this course. Okay, all this we will figure out. Now, let's get into the a very basic understanding. We'll talk about any recent movie. We'll talk about any recent movie. Okay. Uh, let's talk about any successful movie in the recent time, right? People will always say that the screenplay is really good. The direction is really good. The acting of the actors is really good. The heroine has acted very well. So everyone talks about the people whom they see on the front face, correct? You take any movie, you take any movie, the always credit goes to hero, heroine, maybe director, music director, right? So everyone talks about this people, right? People who are in the front face, right? Now, I'm not saying these people are the main people who are responsible for movie success. These people being part of the front face, they come up with more clarity of what they're acting and what they do. And that is actually being one of the main responsibility of the movie successful or failure, right? We do in that way. But ideally, if you ask me, I'm not a big fan of watching movies, but I always feel the pain whenever there is a movie that is getting success, No one even talks about the people who are the real heroes, right? Who are the real heroes? People who are working in backstage. Now, we never talk about these people, right? Without these people, there have not been a single movie that have been shot. Maybe I can give you a story, right? I can give you a story. I can make that story to be shooted. But who is the main people in a successful of a movie? It's all about the people who have been part of the backstage, right? But we never know. We never know. Everyone talks about the directors. Everyone talks about the hero, heroines, but we never ever talk about this people, right? So why is that? Well, if you want to have a successful movie, it's all about the coordination between the entire people, right? Now, this backstage people, it could be a cameraman, it could be a light man, it could be a makeup man, it could be anyone who's been part of the success of this movie. The credit has to go to these people as well, right? Now, just like this people names has never been taken out in terms of the success or failure. Even if it's success, they never talk about these people. Even if it's a failure of the movie, they never talk about these people, right? Just like that, I always relate this backstage people to like what data engineers are. So data engineers are exactly like what you see on the screen. We're all backstage people. They never talk about us. They never talk about us. But if we are not there, forget about movies, right? Imagine if we are not there as a data engineers, forget about the other applications that is running in the other industries, right? Now, another example I'll tell you. Just imagine, just imagine we don't have all the salons, haircut, beauty parlor, right? Imagine we don't have all this in our city or state or country, whatever it is. Just imagine 1 month if there is no beauty parlor or haircut or salons near your house. What is going to happen? What is going to happen? Each one will look in a very different direction, right? So you cannot look attractive, or you cannot look decent, you cannot look innocent. All these challenges will come. 1 month if you don't have the imagine, okay, I'll give another example. You're at home and every morning the person who comes in collects the garbage from your house. Okay, it's either it could be a government or someone from your flat comes in and he takes all of your garbages and he that's deposits in another place, right? Now imagine for the first month, 1 month, there is no people who comes for collecting the garbage. Just imagine the situation. 1 month without the beauty parlor, 1 month without the garbage collector, I mean collecting person. Just imagine what is going to happen, right? If you don't have this type of peoples, your normal life is going to get affected, right? Your normal life is going to get affected. But you know what? Those profession are most valued profession ever, because without them, your entire normal life is going to get affected, right? Similarly, when I'm talking about any role, every role has its own positives, right? Every role has its own positives. Here, how can I relate this to data engineers? We are talking about the backstage people when shooting a movie. Without this, it's very hard for shooting a movie, right? So how do I relate this to our data engineers, right? Now, building the stage before shooting, you need to have the stage, right? Now, similarly, before I go with any project, I need to make sure that the data infrastructure is built. Build the stage, just like build the stage for data infrastructure, right? You need to have a path from where you are getting the data, where we are pushing the data. That is really required. Let's say managing the lights and sound. Of course, if it's a movie, I would definitely consider that managing the lights and sounds is really important. But if I try to compare this with our data driven keywords, I would say that yes, data processing and management also plays a important role. Now, maybe I have witnessed this. I'm into a center of the city in Bangalore, so I've witnessed a lot of shootings that happens for serials, short movies, and movies as well. So I've seen it. I've seen a live shooting. What they do is they set up everything and they'll just have a board. They'll hit the board and they'll say that action, right? They'll say action. And after that, they start all the acting. They make sure that right the moment they say action, the flow should go in a single shot, right? The flow should go on a single shot. So you may not have to take multiple breaks right from the beginning until the shoot is end. We have that entire flow. For that, we need to have the path, correct? Similarly, if I want to move the data from one path, one place to other place, obviously I need to have the data pipelines created, right? Now, if you want to have a smooth show, you have to make sure that you have coordinate between all the other people in the shooting spot, and you need to make sure that everything works well from A to Z, right? Everything has to be well managed. Well, if you are talking about again with the data, I also should have to maintain the data maintenance and optimization is really important. And finally, if you are like going into a shooting spot, not everyone will be allowed. Not everyone will be allowed, right? So only people who have been part of that shooting, and you need to have some pass, you need to always, people will be wearing some ID card there, so you have some restriction, right? So if I want to go and watch inside shooting, they'll not allow. Maybe on the way if I'm going, maybe I can see, but if I'm allowed to go there, that means I should have that privilege, right? So the entry pass, power backups, everything has to be there if you want to run a shooting. Similarly, when I want to relate this to a data-driven pipelines, obviously I need a data backup and data security. Not everyone are allowed to access my data. And in case if something happens, I should also make sure that the backups is also taken, right? Now, this is what I will relate the entire a movie shooting person, that is the backstage of the movie shooting, I will relate it to our data and how data is going to be important for us. Okay, now keeping all this aside, let's talk about the top data driven technologies currently in the market. The top data driven technologies which is currently in the market is data analyst, data scientist, and business analyst. Okay, all these are the top skills in the market. Like when I say in the market, like anything which related to data, always it's in demand, correct? Now, uh, where is data engineering? There's a data engineering demo, right? Why we don't have data engineering? We're talking about data analyst, we're talking about data scientists, we're talking about business analyst. That means, is data engineering not part of the top driven technologies? Well, if that's a question that is hovering in your mind, just be informed that, for all of the top technologies which is currently in the market, the root is data engineer. The root is data engineer. Without data engineers, never ever think about any other skill. Without data engineers, you cannot do anything else, because without data engineers, the data will be scrapped. The data will come in a very raw format. No one to data clean, no one to data transfer. There is no one. Literally, there is no one. Imagine if the people who are like running in the stage, the backstage people, whoever is helpful in running the movie, right? Shooting people, maybe the makeup artist, or if you're talking about the light man, cameraman, if you don't have these people, who can go and shoot the movie? The same problem is having now. If you don't have data engineers in the team, then never ever think about any other skill. Without data engineers, all the other skills are literally they are zero. Literally they are zero. So this data engineering becomes the backbone, or I can say it becomes a root for every other technology, right? Now, right from the last 10 minutes, I've been saying data engineer, data engineer, data engineer. But what exactly is a data engineer? What we do, right? Now, let me figure out one small use case. Okay, let's try to understand one small use case. Imagine why nowadays data engineering is being demand. We'll try to understand. We'll try to understand. Okay, for that we'll take one case study. We'll take one case study. Okay. We do have healthcare. We are working in a healthcare. Okay. Uh, morning, on the first class, is it really required to give a healthcare example? Let's do one thing. Let's go for another use case and let's come back for healthcare later. Okay. So a bit of sentiment. Okay. Now let's talk about Amazon. Each and every one has purchased something or other in Amazon portal. Correct? Now in the Amazon portal, you buy a phone, you buy a laptop, you buy a keyboard, you buy anything, you'll always see this portal where you buy. And most importantly, you will be seeing this something like who is selling this, because directly Amazon cannot ship you from the US, right? The headquarters is in US. So if you're in India, not every product will come from US, right? So they have their own sellers. Every product you purchase, you will be seeing this as single message here. That is, you see that who is the seller of this product, right? They may have some tie-ups, they may have some, maybe Apple stores, some types will be there, maybe your product will be shipped, right? This is what we have seen. Now you buy another phone, it is again sold by another retail shop, which I could call it as market toppers. And for this it is Apparel Retail Private. Okay, it's all small stores where those people take the responsibility of shipping the products, right? You would have done this, right? You would have seen this. Similarly, I have all this, right? So like this, the sales that is happening from Apparel or VRP, Sweaty, all this, if you see, right, there are all the products that is getting sold. Okay, even though you're buying in Amazon, again you have an intermediate person who is helping us to get that product sold, correct? Now, all this data are coming in the form of a different file formats like CSV files, XML files, JSON files, Excel files, right? All this are getting from different data sources. Now, for every file, I have going to set one person who is going to do the analysis. He's going to tell that, hey, totally there are 895 people who have purchased from this Apparel Retail Private Limited, and in that 45 orders did not pay the insurance or did not pay the additional coverage. Maybe 13 people, the delivery did not happen. And 45 people, again, they have come back with a product return. They feel that there is a product has some damage. And for the 6 to 7 people, the product did not get delivered because their house was closed. So all this I can say this, right? All this I can say this, right? But is that person directly going and saying this to CEO? Right? Now, this is a blocker now. CEO of the company is as busy as he can't even have time to spend with all the other individual people. But here, what is happening? Each and every person who is analyzing is actually going and talking to a CEO, which may not happen in the real time, correct? Now, another thing which I need to tell you is, if this is a case, a person who has purchased, imagine that you are the person A. You would have purchased some product with the help of this. Maybe the same person would have also purchased with another retailer. Now what happens? Your data is duplicated. your data is duplicated. When your data is duplicated, what happens? You will be counted twice. You'll be counted twice. Okay. Imagine in this batch, now almost 65 I've joined. 65 minus 1, 64 are there. Okay. So 64 students have joined, right? So in the 64 students, let's talk about a person called Anand as my best friend. Let's say Anand. Now Anand has logged in from mobile. Anand has logged in from laptop. Anand has logged in from his personal machine. Anand has logged in from their parents' phone. Anand has logged in almost from 4 to 5 devices. Ideally, it is not possible in KSR, but just I'm giving an example. If 4 to 5 devices he has been logged in, by chance, if you count him as 4 to 5 customers, you have messed up the analysis. It's not true. It's not true. He is just one customer who is using multiple devices to attend the class. But if you go and count it like 5 customers, then that means you have messed up the analysis, right? So some of you who have come to this class, you would have seen our details about this class or a Zoom link. Somewhere you would have seen, that's why you have joined this course, right? That's why you have joined today. But where have you seen? That really is important. If you have seen in Instagram, if you have seen in WhatsApp, you have seen at both the places. Now there is a duplicated record that is getting shared, correct? Now, in order to tackle this, rather than working with every single file, I'm working with the user. You know what I'm going to do? I'll go with some proposed solution. Let's talk about the proposed solution. How can I get this implemented? It's very simple. Just try to collect all the data into a single data storage. You collect all the uh, different retailer shop. You collect everything, and you go and store it in one single database. Database is a place where you store all of your data. You store there. From there, you start removing the duplicates, removing the null values, do the data cleaning. I know that there is a person who has logged in with 4 to 5 systems with the same name. So I'll start removing the duplicates, all this, and finally I will make sure that the data is analyzed, and I'll make sure that he's speaking to CO. This is my proposed solution. Rather than going and multiple people analyzing and telling about this each and every file, I cannot go and have 15 files and 15 people going and talking to my CEO. Instead, I will try to get all the data into a single file, that is a single database, and from there we will do the analysis, right? Now that's one thing which we can do as part of an improvement, correct? Now let's talk about another use case. Okay. In January, of course, India was also being one of the viral news all over the world. We had the Ayodhya temple that got opened, right? We got the Ayodhya temple that got opened on January 22nd, if I'm not wrong. So it was a lot of things happened with respect to this temple, lot of tweets, a lot of Instagram, lot of celebrities visited there, a lot of like standard charter flights were there. It had a lot of, even now I can see a lot of people are visiting there. Okay. I don't know how many of you people have given a try, but even now, if you go, that craze is still there, right? It's already been 2 months. Yeah, exactly. March 22nd, 21st, 22nd. It's almost 2 months. In 2 months, a lot of people have visited temple. A lot of people have been posting their pictures in Instagram, Facebook, right? So all of this is happening, right? Now, each one prefers their own way of communicating or sharing the thoughts. A person who is very good with Facebook, maybe he'll start posting in Facebook. A person who is always using Instagram will go and share his experience in Instagram, right? So all this can happen. Now, The data is getting generated, the data is being collected at Facebook individually. Maybe WhatsApp also they are sharing, Instagram they're sharing. Now, imagine I want to do analysis. What is analysis, right? Listen carefully. Listen carefully. A person who has visited Ayodhya last month, he or she goes and shares experience in Facebook, saying that, hey guys, I have visited this temple on this day. It's beautiful. Give a try. So there's a person who has actually posted our interest, our share, our experience in the Facebook. There is another person who shares in Instagram. There is another person who puts in WhatsApp status, right? Now, finally, I want to know how many of them have visited Ayodhya in the last 2 months. Will I be able to count only Facebook people? Definitely no. Will I be able to count in WhatsApp? Definitely no. Will I be able to count only in Instagram? Definitely no. And there could be another use case as well. People who have posted in Instagram stories, they go and update their story. The same person can go and update in the WhatsApp as well, right? If you don't have a data engineering pipelines, this is what can happen. People who are directly reporting in Facebook, people who are directly reporting in Instagram or Telegram, directly the data gets stored in the different file formats, and there is a person who's assigned to you, and they will start doing the analysis, and each one goes and analyze each and every single file. What will happen? Then all will go and talk to our CEO, and all again, as I said, right? One person. Imagine the person A would have also posted in Facebook, would have also posted in WhatsApp, would have also posted in Telegram, but or Instagram. So what happens? Ideally, you're counting 3 times. Only one person have visited Ayodhya, but 3 times you have been counted, right? It's a challenge, right? This is something which we need to think about it. Forget about everything. I'll talk about our KSR only. You people have got today's meeting link via Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp, correct? You have been getting all this through the social media. Now, as I think that, hey, let me get the data from Facebook and I'll attend the class. So imagine 6:30 you have to join the class and you have slept, you have not kept your alarm. So our team will wake up you, okay? Let's say a team is calling you and saying that, ma'am or sir, please join the class. It's 6:30. So I see that you have enrolled to this course, and I also see that you have posted some tweets in Facebook. So could you please join? Maybe we'll get to know, right? The next minute, imagine that you have also inquired about this course in WhatsApp. What if I call you 3 times? You're the same person, you're the one person, okay? You have requested to get some notification, or you have requested with us, can you share me the course details, course timings, course fees? Something would have asked. You would have asked in the Instagram chat, maybe would have not responded. In the next 2-3 minutes, you waited for a reply, you did not get any response. You immediately go and ask the same thing in the LinkedIn now. For the LinkedIn, you get the response from KSR team, you get the response from the LinkedIn. Now, you already asked in WhatsApp, you already asked in Instagram, you are already asking in LinkedIn. From our team, if we consider you as a 3 students, I'm going to call you 3 times. Definitely, it's going to be frustrating for you, right? I have just checked the details and I've checked in 3 things. That does mean that you have to call me 3 times, right? So this is where your extra efforts is required. What is that? I have to remove the duplicates, I have to remove the null values, and I have to make sure that the entire files is being collected at one place. The entire files has been collected at one place, store it at one place. On top of this, you can remove all the duplicate students. I understand that you have checked with us both in WhatsApp and Instagram. I will not consider you as a 2 student, I'll consider you 1 student. So making a one-time call is an ideal solution, not like you have checked from WhatsApp, call it once, you have checked from Instagram, call it once. That doesn't work here. that doesn't work here. You have to be in precisely, we have to give the data, and that is one thing which we have to figure out. A small mistake in the data can actually spoil your complete system. A small data mistake, right? If you're being counted twice, or if you have some null values, or let's say, for example, your age is 31, right? And instead of 31, if I enter 313 or 311, doesn't even make sense. Now, whose responsibility is to organize the data, do the data cleaning? It's all about our data engineers. Now, as and then, if I want to talk about the subject, first you need to understand what is your roles and responsibility. The roles and responsibility is, first you need to figure out what is the source files that I'm going to receive, where I'm going to receive, and how am I going to organize all this? How am I going to do the data cleaning? And how am I going to do the transformations? All this is really important. All this is really important. Okay, now I'll give you a small example. Most of you would have seen the link for today's session in WhatsApp. Okay, so let me open one message. Okay, imagine you would have been part of different groups, right? Imagine that you have been part of different groups. Now, all these are the messages which you would have got. All these are the messages you would have got. Okay, you would have seen the Zoom link, and you would have joined with the meeting ID and password, correct? This is what you would have got it, right? And this is what you would have got the poster. 21st March, 6:30 a.m. Attend the first class, and maybe we would have splitted the entire today's demo into Snowflake and Azure, right? We would have given this, right? Wantedly, we have done a small mistake in this poster. Can anyone tell what was that?
Azure data.
It was supposed to be AWS, right?
Is it?
Same timing.
No.
It's a
What's
free
the
class.
mistake in this poster? What's the mistake in this poster?
Data spelling is wrong. I think.
The data spelling was
Data
wrong.
engineering.
Data spelling is wrong.
Yeah, data spelling is wrong.
Yeah. Great.
It is actually, the course is Azure Data Engineer, right?
Yeah.
The course is Data Engineer. Wantedly, we did a mistake. Wantedly, we did a mistake to figure out how many of them can figure out this. And to our shock, no one even came back saying that there is a mistake. Now, what is one thing you need to figure out is, your observation is really important. You have not even able to identify this. It's Azure Data Engineer, right? And we have given data engineer. And you know what? Ideally, no one has even come back to us saying that there is a mistake. Not even a single person. We have shared this almost to 5,000 students. No one has even come back to saying there is a mistake. Just imagine a small mistake. If you can do this in the real time as well, it's fine. Our students, we just wantedly make a mistake to figure out how many of them came back to us. No one. Literally, if the same mistakes I'm doing in the real data for the client, what is going to happen? Right? If I change the name of the client, if the change the name of the customer, if I change a small number, right? What will happen? Now, that is where you have to take extra precautions of data cleaning. You have to take care of the data cleaning. Okay, data cleaning, data transformation, gathering the data, everything becomes a major impact when you're working for pipelines. And who is going to do that? It's you who's going to do this. Again, just imagine like you are the backstage people of a movie shoot. Without you, see, without director, or maybe without, if not this director, I'll get another director. If not this hero, let's say hero has agreed to do a movie with us, and in between he has left it, fine, I can continue the movie still with another hero. I can completely reshoot it with the help of another hero or another heroine. But if you don't have a backstage people, you can't even shoot a single scene for the movie, right? So just like that, the importance of data engineers is never ever brought into picture, because we are all the people who are working in backend. Let me tell you another thing. Whenever again, as I said, don't want to talk about the health, but still, in an hospital, a person gets admitted and he goes through a surgery, everyone will praise doctors. Everyone will praise doctors. Doctor, thank you, doctor. Thanks for so much for helping me, or thank you so much for the surgery. Thank you so much for successful surgery. But you know what is the pain? Not about the doctors, the people who are surrounded with the doctors. It's not about the main surgeon there. The people who are helping the surgeon, the people who are, maybe it could be an anesthesia, maybe it could be the people who are around us, checking the BP, checking the heartbeat. Those people are also important, but they are never brought into the picture. Everyone praises only the doctor. Similarly, if you're a data engineer, never expect any reward. But without you, there is no other application that can run into the business. No application. If you ask me, does KSR have data engineers? Yes. We hardly have 30 employees in KSR. KSR is a startup company, which we take up the trainings, we take up some of the projects, and we are working. But if you ask me, minimum 40-50% we have data engineers in our team. You go to Amazon, you check if the data engineers is there. Yes. You go to Flipkart, you go and check if the data engineers are there. Yes. If there are no data engineers in a team or in a project, then it's not at all a project, right? So taking about all these examples, so one thing which you need to figure out is, what's your roles and responsibilities? Very simple. Gathering the data from the different data sources, make sure it has been pushed into one single system, and then start doing the data cleaning, removing the duplicates, make sure that there is no null values, make sure that all these informations are accurate, and then finally send it for the analysis team. So analysis team will tell how many students who have joined today's demo, how many students were interactive, how many students were able to understand. All this analysis will be done by a different team, but you as a data engineer, your roles and responsibility will be as follows, like transformations, data cleaning, all this. Okay, now with all this, let's talk about what is happening in the world. Okay, I'll give you 30 seconds time. Just go and open your mobile. You'll find minimum of 25 to 30 apps in your mobile. Great. So we have 8 billion people as of 2022. And you know what? All the 8 billion people are now being, I'll not say 8 billion, because a lot of kids, a lot of elderly people, but maybe 4 billion people, approximately half of the 50% are using smartphones. And you just go and search in Google Play or Apple Store, you have 3.5 million Android apps. I'm talking about 30 applications in your mobile, right? We have 3.5 million apps that is having in the system. Now, when I have all this application, none of the application works without your registration. I repeat, you cannot use WhatsApp without registering. You cannot use Facebook without account. You cannot use YouTube without an account. You cannot use Instagram without an account. Impossible. So one person using multiple apps, ideally you'll be having accounts, right? And why data engineering is on the talk in the recent few years? Just 20 years back, if you see, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, everything was launched right from 2004, 2005, 2006, and we are in 2024 now. So all these applications have launched in the last 20 years. People who are wondering, all these applications, right? I'll give an example. Okay. Tomorrow there is an IPL is going to start. Are you all aware of it? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. What is IPL? Can anyone tell me?
Indian Premier
Indian
League.
Premier League.
What happens in IPL?
It's a T20 cricket series.
IPL is an Indian Premier League. It's a cricket tournament that has been organized by BCCI. Okay, if you talk about the India, we have almost 8 or 10 teams all over the world. I mean, all over the India, and also we have the foreign players. So we have a T20 match.
Yeah.
Like a franchise cricket, moreover.
Yeah. So we have it 20 match, maybe CSK, RCB, and Mumbai Indians. Each and every team has their own specific names, and each team gets a game with the other opponent, and at finally we'll see the score. And again, it goes the elimination. It goes with the playoffs. Like 8 teams gets filtered to 4 teams. 4 teams gets filtered to 2 teams. 2 teams gets to filter, and you get 1 team. Okay. If I'm not wrong, it's a 16th season or 17th season?
16th.
16th season, right? 16th season. Okay. 16th season, right? It started in the year 2008. From 2008, now we are into 2024. So it's a 16th season. IPL was inaugurated in the year 2008, and now we are in 2024. A couple of days back, India, women's team has won the cup, and the cup was won by RCB. Okay. RCB has been waiting to lift the cup for the last 16 years, but women's team have done it in 2 years, right? Now, in the inaugural IPL, which happened in 2008, listen carefully. In the inaugural IPL, which happened in 2008, everyone knew this. It's been continuing for the last 16 years. 2008, even in the COVID time, they were still able to have this league. Maybe it was moved out of India without people in the stadium. It was played on the empty stadium in the 2021 and 2022, but they did not give on IPL. Every single year, IPL was played, and because it generates one of the great revenue to our team, correct? Now, this IPL was been there couple of days back when RCB had won the cup, right? I see lot of reels like they waited for 16 years, and there was one restatement that we have given. Isala Cup Namde, it was changed to? It was changed to?
Namdu.
Isala Cup Namdu, right? So that statement has become very viral, right? Lot of reels, lot of my stories, a lot of WhatsApp status, everything was spreading like anything. I was been tracking all this. What if I tell you one hard truth that today everyone is using WhatsApp, everyone is using Instagram. When T20 World Cup when T20 tournament IPL was inaugurated in the year 2008, what if I say you that there was no WhatsApp and there was no Instagram? Can you ever believe this? Can you ever believe this? In the inaugural season of IPL, which was started in the year 2008, what if I say you that in the inaugural, today everyone is putting WhatsApp status and Instagram stories. What if I say you that in the inaugural IPL, there was no WhatsApp and there was no Instagram? Just imagine life without WhatsApp, life without Instagram. Yes, we were still part of it. I still remember the match India versus KKR. RCB versus KKR, where Rahul Dravid was the captain of RCB and Saurav Ganguly was the captain of KKR. That was held in Bangalore. The inaugural match was held in Bangalore, and Brandon McCullum has scored 158 in that match. Do you all remember that? People who like cricket will definitely remember this number. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
But what if I say there was no Instagram? What if I say there's no WhatsApp? Well, that's the hard truth. And that is why in the recent times, a lot of people have started using social devices, social media, a lot of data is getting generated. And just to give you the numbers, you can see the numbers. Facebook is used by 2.37 billion users. What is billion? What is billion? It's 10 to the power of 9. So 2.3 into 10 to the power of 9 people are using Facebook, right? WhatsApp, 1.5 billion. YouTube, 2 billion. Now all these are used by a lot of people. Where will I go and store the data? Where will I go and process the data? And that is why you people are needed. It's none other than data engineers who are going to work with this, all these files, and get the data cleaned, right? Now, just for a second, think of how much of data that is getting generated every second, right? Every minute. For the last 40-45 minutes, I've been speaking, right? Every minute, okay, forget about 45 minutes. Every minute, if you see, Instagram users are posting 46 image photos in every minute. That means in the last 1 hour, when I was about to start my session and I'm continuing it, almost 45 minutes into 46,740 photos have been uploaded in the last 45 minutes, right? So 4 lakh tweets has been tweeted on Twitter. Users have watched 41 lakhs 46,000 YouTube video hours, and 3.7 billion people are using internet. Forget about everything. In every second, Google is getting 40,000 searches. When all this has to work without even a single delay, I need to have a proper environment, right? I need to have a proper environment. Without the proper environment, you cannot have a system which can help you to figure out the data. Now, all this are the things which is happening in the system, but you are not aware of it. You are just using for your time pass. You go and watch every reel. Okay, I'm telling you again and again. Okay, nowadays Instagram reels has become very famous. Initially there was a TikTok, but now Instagram reels have become very famous. I'll give a challenge between you and me. Okay, just open your Instagram, start swiping the reels. If you have not done it before, you'll start get addicted to it. You just go to the Instagram and you'll come back after 15-20 minutes or even 30 minutes. And I've seen people spending hours together in reels. Okay, what if I tell you that every swipe you do, Instagram is generating revenue in lakhs? I repeat, every swipe you do, swipe up, you go for a new video, Instagram is generating revenue in lakhs. You people are wasting your time. Just think about it. You people are wasting your time and in watching the reels, and there the company is generating more revenue. The more you see the reels, the more they generate the revenue. And that's the hard reality of the Instagram reels. But you're not aware of it. You're just wasting your time. But the hard reality is they are earning. People who have put the reels, they are earning. People who have created this app, they are earning. People who have using the internet, you people are on loss. People who are using this Instagram, you people are on loss. Why? Because you're wasting your time on it, and there's someone else who's generating revenue out of it. Think out of it. If you want to use, you also create one Instagram reel, then use it. Maybe more number of people see this, you'll also get revenue, right? So all this, there is a challenge, and you need to know that how data is also getting improved, right? And one major thing which you need to understand is why nowadays the data is getting more and more and more and more. It's all because of big data. Now, what is big data? Data which is big, but how big it is? Is it going to be 1 GB? Is it going to be 10 GB? Is it going to be 1 terabyte? Is it going to be 10 terabyte? What is a definition of big? When I say big, it's big. When I say big, it's big. I don't want to come up with a number to define it's a big. We say that elephant is big. Whether elephant, baby elephant or a adult elephant is elephant. We call it as a big. We don't say that elephant has to be minimum 1,000 kilos. It has to be a minimum 2,000 kilos to be called as big. No, big is a big. Now we are all into the problem. You may be asking, for the last 20 years, why no one was talking about data engineers? For the last 20 years, I was not having any problem. I was not having any problem. All the problems started here. What is that? People are using more of smartphones. People are using more of internet. People are using more of smart devices, sensors. Today morning when I woke up at 6:15, 6:30 was your class. 6:15 when I woke up, I just saw my watch. It says that for the last 8 hours, how much of time I had a deep sleep, how much of time I had a disturbed sleep, all this I was able to track in my smartphone. Even now, what is my oxygen? What is my pulse? What is the number of steps I'm taking? Everything I'm able to track it. We are all thinking as a tracking, but at the back end, someone is storing this data. Someone is processing this data. Someone is organizing the data. Who is it? Someone. It's going to be you and me. Me being a data engineer is going to do that. You going to be a future data engineer is going to do that. Right? And nowadays, you need not have a formal education to have use a smartphone. You give it to a 5-year-old kid, they will use it better than you. Right? You need not have a formal education to use your smartphones. Very user-friendly usage. Nowadays, even the old people are using smartphones. They may be illiterate, but still they will use it. That's how the things have been changed. And that is one reason the data is getting generated like in a very fast ways, right? Can I ignore it? Why I should go and store all this? Can I ignore it? For example, for the last 5 days, 6 days, we are collecting all the data of KSR students. Imagine, oh, that's fine. People who join, let them pay fees, let them collect it, fine. Can I do that? Definitely no, because for the last 5 years, if you keep on tracking how many of students got placed in the month of 2015 December, 2016 January, 2016 February, if I keep track of it, I can have a better decision. Maybe if we have more people, we can set another batch. Maybe if we have less people, maybe we can change the timing. So all these decisions, we can do it depending on the data. Data is a key. As simple as that. More data, more processing, more analysis, as in then more profit. Every company in this world, including KSR, if I've talked to you, I talk to you as a student. But if KSR is talking to you, they talk to you as a business. Every business, every company's only profit is to make revenue. And in order to generate that revenue, we would definitely consider multiple things in deciding it. And that's where data plays a major role and we cannot ignore it. The same mistake which I showed you 20 minutes back for a data engineer, we have mentioned as a data engineer. If the same mistake I'm going back to my client, that cannot be affordable, right? We will not be able to afford to do this mistake. So every single data point has its own meaning and you need to think of it. Okay. With all that, we have come to a conclusion that data can never be ignored. Data has to be taken every extra precautions in terms of the data cleaning, transformations, and all the things has to be done as part of the system. Okay. Now, let me put in a very layman terms. Just imagine the picture you see on the right side of this screen is taken from my terrace. Is taken from my terrace. The picture taken from the right side of the visual you see here, it's a picture that is taken right side of my, it is taken from my terrace. Okay. What is that you see here? It's in Bangalore. Couple of months back, it's started raining suddenly. And you can see how the area has been messed up. Okay. And we'd never even expected that huge rain in the 2 months before, but we had a heavy rain. Now, if you observe what is happening here, Water is not finding a place to settle. All over the road, there is a water. Water has spread across the streets. Water has entered the houses, actually. Normal life is affected. See how the people are struggling here. From the terrace, I was just observing this. What is this? Why this sudden? See, one day before the area was so clean. We used to play cricket on road. One day down the line, you see what has happened. It has completely messed up. I was imagining yesterday, same time I was playing cricket. Today, same time, see how the area is messed up. So I was thinking in my mind, why all this has happened. I was able to figure out. No proper rainwater harvesting, no proper planning, and we were not being prepared to handle this situation. Correct? After all, rain. After all, it's just a rain and water. And you're not able to handle this. And that is why most of the cities, there is flood. If it rains, it starts flood. Example, the best example is Chennai. Chennai is the one place, I don't know how many of you are from Chennai, but you know it better. If it rains, you know how it happens. Correct? You are not being prepared for the situation. Correct? Now, let's talk about another example. Let's talk about another example. Weekend, my mom has invited all of my relatives to our house, just like a get together. I told my mom clearly, Mom, we have a 30-40 size house, 1500 square feet house. It hardly has 2 rooms. So if you're inviting all of your relatives, invite one relative you invite this week. Maybe one of them you invite on Saturday, one of them you invite on Sunday, and others people you may invite on next week. My mom asked why. I told Mom, it's a very small house. If everyone comes together, obviously you will have a lot of challenges. They may not be comfortable and it looks like a very congested. Okay, the food also like could be shortage, right? So please don't invite all of them together. Now, even though we have invited a specific time for my relative, we have given a time. Maybe you can come for breakfast, you can come for lunch, you can come for dinner. We have actually splitted them and we called them a different time. Unfortunately, all came together, all the 40 people, 40 of my relatives, all came together. What problem we had? They never had place to settle. It's completely congested, food shortage. And they were like, I can see they're getting irritated because everyone is close, right? So some relatives may not like other relatives. So everyone were like very close. I got to know that they are not happy. Then I found out what is the reason. I did not make proper arrangements. I did not make of the proper planning and I was not being prepared to handle the situation. Usually only one relative comes to my home at a time, but now everyone came to me, came to my house suddenly. Just imagine, just imagine, just imagine, ears wide open, just listen. 40 people, I am not able to manage them inside my house. The data that is coming from the different system as of today is 40 gigabyte. 40 followed by 10 followed by 21 zeros. 40 relatives, you're not able to provide them a good sufficient shelter, good food, you're struggling. Imagine in the entire system, database system, 40 gigabyte is been flowing into the systems and you're not able to manage this. We know only 40 MB, megabyte. After that we have GB, gigabyte. After that we have terabyte. After that we have petabyte. After that I'm talking about gigabyte. Gigabyte is 10 to the power of 21. Where will I go and store it? After all, 40 relatives you're not able to manage in your house. How are you going to manage 40 gigabyte of data that is coming from different systems? The same example, what if I say you that suddenly all of your relatives comes? Now, what if suddenly data flows like this? Suddenly if data comes in a huge manner, do you have the capacity to handle? Can you process your system? Can your system handle different variety of data? Is your system is able to handle all of these problems? After all, 40 people I am not able to handle. Imagine my data is also been flowing in this. Suddenly the data will flow. So today morning, when I joined the class, I was told by our management said that since it's a morning, right? So approximately 60-65 people will join the class. They told me initially before the class. 6:15 they told me. I was also prepared. Okay, for 60-65 people means, okay, let's go with this modulation. Let's go with this flow. If suddenly 600 people join, I would have not expected this. And your Zoom supports only 250 people at a time. If suddenly 600 people joins, I should have found an alternative. I should have purchased a different license so that all the 600 people will be allowed in the session. If I'm not allowing, then I'm failing. People who are waking up at 6:30 and they've been not been allowed to attend the class, who will join our course? I was not being prepared for this situation. Now that's where your challenges comes. If suddenly data also starts flowing in the same manner, who is going to do all this? It's none other than data engineer. You and me are going to work together to make our systems very effective, and we are going to capture the data, and we are going to be prepared for future. If tomorrow data comes like this, that's fine. I have the capacity to handle. Even if tsunami comes, I can know how to handle. That should be your mindset. That should be a way of approach. Okay, with all this examples, we will stop here. The actual topic, what is data engineering, is what we are going to cover next, which we will do it tomorrow. Today, my main objective was to explain in a very layman term. But being a first class, I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. In the next class, we'll talk about a bit of technical words. Today, I've never used any technical word. I was just giving the layman examples. What's your roles and responsibilities? How data is increasing? How big data is getting generated? Which application was launched in different days? All this I was talking about in a very layman term. Anyone can understand this. But we will start speaking about data engineering in technical terms in the next class. Okay. Any questions?
Sir, where can I find all these recordings, sir?
Once you get registered to our portal, that is KSR Data Vision, once you get registered, you should be able to see all of these recordings. And apart from that, you can also, for the first 5 days, you can definitely find it in YouTube as well. And after that, every session is going to get recorded and you should be able to access it. For example, if I close the session by 8 o'clock, by 9:30 or 10 o'clock, you will be able to see the recording in your app.
Can you show the app, please?
There is one KSR app.
Or you need to check on.
You just need to log into datavision.com. If you already have an account, please go with it. If not, please sign in. Once you sign in, you can be able to see this.
Okay.
We have our own app. Okay, this
Okay.
app can be used both in Android, iOS, as well as you can open in your website. You'll be able to get all the recordings. So this is Azure Data Engineering new batch starts, right? So all this you can go and get to know about that in our website. In website, we have every information. If not, you can go with the contact us. You can reach out to our number. We can help you. If you go to the courses, you can see which course you're looking for. For example, this is a course. So this is a Power BI course, and this is for data engineer course. If you see, right? If you go here, you should be able to see this course. And
All the
once you see
recording.
this course, you should be able to go through the recordings. You have to enroll here. Once you enroll, this is exactly the year batch, which starts on 21st March. And you can see the time is also 6:30. Enroll here. For the first 5 days, you should be able to get the recordings in this course. Provided you have to be a person, like you have to log in. It's a free sign in. Just sign up and you should be able to get this.
Okay.
As a part of this course, are you going to cover AWS also? Or
Whether it's a Azure or AWS or a Snowflake, the primary subject that is required is you need to have the knowledge of coding and you need to have the knowledge of SQL. Okay. See, imagine you have to travel to Delhi now. That's your destination. Okay. Some people destination will be maybe Rajasthan, and some people destination will be Delhi. Imagine we have people who has to go to north now. Now from Bangalore, let's say we have a train which goes to Rajasthan as well as which goes to Delhi. So we are taking a session in such a way that SQL and Python, you will be part of my batch. I'll be teaching here. Okay, I'll be teaching until your SQL and Python. Once the Python is done, now the choice is yours. Would you like to continue with data engineering? You can go in the same train. If you want to go back to a different destination, then you will be jump to a different batch. There will be another trainer who will be taking care of AWS Snowflake. I'll be the person who will be taking care of Azure. So data engineering pipelines can be built in any cloud. So if you would like to learn, tomorrow I'll tell you why you have to learn Azure or why you have to learn AWS. But if you're willing to learn in Azure, you have to continue with me. If you're willing to learn AWS after Python, there'll be a different trainer who will be taking in the same time. 6:30, we'll be splitting into two batches. One batch goes to AWS, one batch goes to Azure.
Azure.
And Snowflake?
Snowflake and AWS both are same. It comes under one course.
Okay, and part of Azure, part of this course, you are not going to teach Snowflake, right?
In this particular course, we will be learning SQL, Python, data warehousing, and we'll be learning PySpark, and we'll be learning Azure. Okay. You will be in the same course until Python. After Python, you will be pushed into another batch where they will teach DB2 and they will also teach you AWS and they will teach you the Snowflake.
Okay.
So total duration is how many days?
The total duration is 4.5 months. In this 4.5 months, the classes will be there every day from Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sunday is given off for your practice, assignments, homeworks, project. And after that, you can also reach us 24/7 support we give you. You can reach out to us for any questions. For example, if you're a working profession, unfortunately, you are not able to attend the live class morning 6:30, you can go with the recordings. All the classes will be recorded and it will be available in the app itself. So Monday to Friday, if you have missed it, Saturday and Sunday, you can watch the recordings. You can get back to us for more questions, doubts. And again, we can continue offline as well. It's completely up to you. If you're able to attend live class, well and good. If you're not able to attend, you can always go with recordings as well.
And what about the means coding environment or?
Everything we will be helping you in terms of coding, and it's going to be a completely hands-on experience class. For the first 2-3 days, you may see that I'm using PowerPoint presentation. After that, it's I never use PPT. I always go with practical implementation. Every class is going to be practicals where we'll take a scenario and we'll start writing the code both in SQL and Python.
Okay.
Santosh, I have one question. After the SQL and Python, who will be the trainer to continue the AWS and Snowflake?
For Azure, I'll be the trainer, so I'll continue from here. For Snowflake, we have Krishna. You do have a great experience working with.
I have seen his video.
Yeah, he'll be the trainer for Snowflake and
Okay.
AWS.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Santosh, one question. So, in the Python part, do we focus here on the data structure part also?
See, the entire data engineering is like a subject. For that, we are using SQL and Python. If you specifically ask me, Python is an ocean. If you start learning Python, you have to learn for 5-6 years, right? But that's not our intention. Our intention is to data engineer for a data engineer, how much of extent you need that was required. See, imagine that you want to cook a food, right? You need not be a chef. You need not master chef. You need not do any certifications. To prepare in the house, how much ever you know cooking, that is enough. Same way, in terms of Python, I'm not going to cover everything. Okay, to learn Python itself, it will take 5-6 years to be like right from scratch. But For data
Hmm.
engineering, what is required, only that part we will be covering. So data structures will not be part of it. We'll be focusing on libraries, we'll be focusing on the data cleaning, data transformations. About 20-25 hours we are going to cover only on Python fundamentals. We'll start from scratch only, but what is required for data engineers, that we will be learning.
Got it. And one more. Basically, I have experience with AWS already. If I continue with you in the Azure data engineering part, so it will be easier for me even to navigate to as the AWS data engineer, right?
Ideally, very honestly speaking, companies are looking for multi-skilled and multi-talented. So if you know AWS and if you know Azure, always you can always be one of the best person in the group, I can say, because you can easily get a job. You can get it as a AWS data engineer, also you can get it as a Azure data engineer. So knowing both is always an advantage.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
I have one question. Are we going to cover PySpark in AWS batch as well?
It's PySpark. So here we are covering PySpark. You will be covering a Snowpark. Both ways, PySpark will be covered.
Okay.
Shantosh, PySpark and Snowspark are almost same, right?
It's same, but we are using in different environment. Here also, see, here I'm learning Python with Spark, we call it as PySpark. There we are working Snowflake with Spark, we are calling it as Snowpark. Both are same. Whether you learn here or you learn there, both are same.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Hi, Santhosh.
Hi, Santhosh. I'm Akhil. I don't have any experience, like prior knowledge for the coding part, like SQL and Python. I just started the basics. So how does it is going to be for me?
See, you would have seen for the last 1 hour, okay, everything we talk in very layman term, then only we take it to technical, okay. I would say that's the strength of KSR. KSR strength is always starting from scratch. You bring any student to our class, we'll make them understand. Even if a 10 standard guy sits in our class, they'll be able to code. That is what we follow. Our main focus is to start from fundamentals and basics. Definitely, if you have not been part of any of the coding, you don't come from the coding background, for sure you can still learn it, because we will be starting from learning like an ABCD in the programming language. So that I am guaranteed.
Sure, Santosh. Thank you.
Next.
Shantosh, first here we will be starting with MySQL, right?
Yeah, tomorrow I'll be talking to you on the roadmap. To become a data engineer, you have to sit in the class for 100 days. Today is a day 1. Okay, just keep on counting day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. By the time you complete day 100, you'll become a data engineer. So we have completed day 1. So tomorrow I'll be talking to you on roadmap. After the roadmap, we'll be starting the actual subject. What we're going to cover will be SQL, followed by Python, followed by PySpark. So I'll be showing the roadmap.
Okay, thank you.
Just think this is your target. Today is day 1. Tomorrow is day 2. Like this, on the day 100, you'll become a data engineer.
Yeah.
Coding
One question.
weekends.
One question, Santosh. If people have 10, 12 years of experience in the IT with different, I mean, coding perspective, and they have learned this data engineering course, then how their experience is getting means how they will produce themselves as how much experience they have, and for how much experience data engineer they will apply, like that.
Okay. Just give me a minute.